Hey guys, so in this video we're not really doing anything new, we just need to finish rigging the other armor pieces. You can try doing it yourself, and if you struggle just follow the video. But first we need to do one small fix, and that is in pickup item. Down here, every time we add variable to item info s, we also need to connect it in this function, because otherwise if we were to add something to the stack now, then it would reset the value to default one. So just make sure you connect these two, and here in remove item we got the same thing. So this one is just a skeletal mesh. Compile and save it, and now we can go to Blender, just start a new project if you haven't saved the one we did in a previous video. If you did, just load it. You got already armor resized. I'm going to do it from scratch. So rename the collection to MetaHuman. I'll add new collection. This one will be armor. And now I'm going to file, import. First, don't forget to select MetaHuman. So file, import, FBX, go to where it's saved, and this time don't import pants, because we will be doing the legs as well, and obviously if we equip legs in Unreal Engine, we disable the pants. There won't be the yoga pants equipped as well, so we don't need it. We just need the body and head. So import. And if you already had project saved, just you can delete the whole thing, root and yoga pants. So now click on armor, file, import, FBX, and this time import your plate mail. Now we don't need helmet, we delete all the roots. And we also don't need the body parts, so feet, hands, legs and torso. We are only left with these four. So boots, chest, gloves and pants. What we need to do now is resize it. So select all, right click, set origin, origin to 3D cursor. And now move your mouse up and hold S on a keyboard and scale it down. The same thing again until it fits the MetaHuman perfectly. Just usually check under the gloves, because the fingers can be showing through. It's not a big issue if it's a little bit, but just try to get it as close as possible. There we go. And now for the next piece, what we can do is pants. So hide these other three, select pants. What we need to do is modifiers, remove this root, add modifier, edit and data transfer. We'll click on the eyedropper tool, we'll select body. Now we will check vertex data, we will check vertex groups and leave this at nearest vertex. We generate data layers, and now we press apply. And now we got the vertex groups here. Second thing we need to do is add modifier. I haven't actually checked if the pants fit well, but yeah, there seems to be no issue. If you see your body, usually maybe in this area, it's very close to the body. If you see it showing through, just resize it again, the whole thing. And now we can add the second modifier. We will do deform and armature. This time click on eyedropper tool and select the root. So one of these little control for bones showing. And we just need to transfer it into our root. So open body and hold shift and drag it into the root. And now you got it here. So that should be all done. So now what we need to do is just select, or just go to object mode, select pans, hold control, hold shift and select the root. So only the pans, and the root is actually not selected. So if you messed up like me, just click on the root and then hold shift and select pans as well. Hold control, root, control, and now we got pans and root selected only. Now we go to file, export, FBX. We will do only selected objects. We'll do armature, hold shift, click mesh. We will go to geometry, select face in smoothing. We will go to armature and uncheck leaf, add leaf bones, and uncheck bake animation. And now we save it in the same folder. This time it will be plate pans. And just export. And now you just need to import it into Unreal. So let's go to our meshes folder, select the plate armor, open it up, and we can import it here. So get the plate pans FBX file and import it. Don't forget to change the skeleton for SK mannequin. And now import. So once you have a pans, you can see it's creating the new empty material as well, but we already got the material for the whole armor created here. So you can just open the skeletal mesh for pants and change this night 05 to night 02, and it's painted all nicely. You can save it, get out of here, close the content browser, and now we have a plate pants skeletal mesh. You can check it on a player, so go to legs and select these pants, plate pants, instead of the yoga pants. One problem here will be with the material, which will need to be reset as well. So reset the material as well, because yoga pants using different one, so it needs to be on a default one, otherwise it won't change. So save this, try to play the game, and you got working pants. So if you were to equip the armor as well, look at that, and works perfectly fine. I don't see the body clipping through or anything, and that's how we create armor. So now what we can do is do a next piece before we actually create item from it. So go to Blender again, and now we can actually do gloves. But one thing I've noticed is that our whole MetaHuman exported with different LOD settings as well, and if you looked closely at the arms, they are webbed basically, and it will be impossible to do gloves as well because there is few meshes going through the MetaHuman. So you can actually delete most of them, but I'll start with the 3. Yeah, that was actually the 1. So delete LOD3 if you have it, or if you still have webbed fingers, then just look and try to delete them, and Control Z if you don't delete the correct one. You only need one MetaHuman basically. You can just leave one. And now we can do gloves, so hide pants and uncheck gloves. And now turn the camera from the back and have a look at the fingers. Surprisingly, it's fitting very well. So I don't really need to change anything on the gloves. But if you have a finger showing, just use the tools that I showed in a previous video. Just select this object, go to sculpt mode, and either grab if you have a little bit of finger on the side showing, or you can do this pose, which you can move kind of the whole part of the glove. And then you would have to do it from the other side as well, because it's two parts to it. But mine are pretty much perfect. So all I have to do is remove root and add the two modifiers. So edit, data transfer, click here, click on the body, vertex data, vertex groups, nearest vertex, and apply. And now add modifier, armature, hold the eyedropper, select root, and transfer it to root. Now just need to go to object mode, select the gloves, and select the root. So gloves and root only. And now export FBX. This one will be plate, gloves, and we export it because the settings are already saved. Right, before I import it, I'm going to do the last piece, and that is the boots. So select boots, check if they are fitting. Then one thing, sometimes it happens that you could see your feet from the bottom side, but it looks all good. We are lucky with this armor because not all of them will be fitting, and then there is a lot of, moving it around and trying to fix it, and you actually deform your original mesh a little bit, but nothing you can do really. If you want nice looking armor, this is what you need to go through. So now what we can do is remove this root, add modifier, edit, data transfer, select eyedropper tool, select body, vertex data, vertex groups, and apply, generate data layers, and apply. And now add modifier, armature, eyedropper, and root, and transfer it to body root. So hold shift and root. Now object mode, select the body and select the boots with shift. So body and boots. No, sorry, you need root, not body. So root, select the root and select the boots. There we go. I always mess this one up. So export FBX, and this one will be our plate, boots. Same settings, export, and now we got all of the armor pieces. We can go to our Unreal, just let's export them all. So go to your meshes and get the gloves and boots. Don't forget to change the skeleton again to SK mannequin and import, and do it again because we're importing two at the same time. So there we go. Now on the skeletal mesh for boots, change the material to Click.o or whatever it is called. It is the one that we fixed, and same thing for gloves on skeletal mesh, Click.o. Now file, save all, and you can test it out on your character. Is go to your character, change feet now. So feet will be plate boots, and your gloves or your hands will be plate, what do we call it, gloves. Wait, hold on a sec. So gloves are not following. So if you haven't done this, in the construction script where we set the leader, which is this mesh is the leader, everything else needs to follow. Since we created the hands, we haven't done it. Just drag in hands and connect it to the target. Compile and save. And now you got working armor. There we go. Actually looks nice. And here you can see the moving fingers and everything. He's putting them into fist when he runs, so it's all working fine with the gloves. And now we have full armor. We just need to make an item from it. So let's do that quickly and go to player first. Make this a default value. Change the legs to yoga pants. Yep. Now yoga pants change the material. So what I need to do is basically set the default material for this, not change it here, because then the material for our pants when we equip them won't change. So just open the skeletal mesh if you have different color yoga pants like me, and then change this to what you want it to be as a default. Mine were this white one. You can just download some potato sack material so it actually looks medieval and stuff, but this is basically mine. I don't really care. So compile, and now let's create items. So go to blueprints, items, create child blueprint class of items BP. This one will be plate pants underscore BP, and do another one. This one will be plate gloves underscore BP, and one more plate boots underscore BP. And now open them up and change the mesh to the correct one. So plate boots, plate boots. Alright, first thing what we need to do is create static meshes. So go to plate armor. So let's do boots first, open skeletal mesh, make static mesh. This one will be plate boots underscore SM for static mesh, save. Now open gloves, same thing, make static mesh, meshes, plate armor, and this one is plate gloves underscore SM. Open up plate pants skeletal mesh, make static mesh, plate armor, and plate pants underscore SM. Save. And let's try. Most likely we will have to do collision, but let's do item first. So now in plate boots, you can change them to plate boots. Open your plate gloves. Change the item mesh to plate gloves. Open your plate pants. Change that item mesh to plate pants. And now let's create everything in data table. So open your we need icons as well, so we can do that first. Go to icons, icon creator, open icon capture BP, viewport, change this to legs, pants, plate pants. Create static texture called plate pants icon. Change texture group to UI, user compression settings to user interface, min alpha 1, max alpha 0. Save. Do gloves. This might actually look quite strange, so I'll probably just do one. What I would recommend is you can separate these in a Blender into two different meshes, and then you can import it into Unreal and maybe, you know, put them together so you can have two gloves. That's how I done it in my inventory system that I created before. But you know, this is fine, it actually looks nice, so I'm just gonna do a single one. I'm gonna create static texture called plate gloves icon, and we do one more, and that is boots. There we go. Plate boots. Careful, don't confuse this render target for your textures as well, because it happened to me and I moved it to different folder. Just a little warning. And now get the texture, texture, all these three. Well, first thing, change the texture group UI, compression setting UI, user interface, and 1 and 0. And gloves, same thing. Texture group UI, compression setting, user interface, and 1 and 0. And now move them to icons. Now in the icons we got all of them created, so we can do item names. So in blueprints, item names E, open it up, create 3 more entries, plate legs, no, pants, plate gloves, and plates boots. Now open up data table, items DT. So create new one, rename to plate pants. Name is plate pants. Plate pants. And plate pants. I'm not going to say it every time, so just, you know, keep filling up these items. Don't forget to change the item type, because it won't find the correct slot to equip it to. Right, and once you have it done, just close this. We can hold Alt and create some more of these interactable items. And now we can get our pants, gloves, and boots. Play the game. Right, it all fell through the floor as I thought it would, so just open up your static meshes of the ones we created, which is plate boots. No, that's a skeletal mesh, so plate boots SM, auto convex collision, apply, and save. Do the same thing for gloves. Not the skeletal mesh, but the static mesh. And pants as well. And now you can play the game and pick it all up, and you can see all of the armor pieces, and all of them are equipping correctly as well. We are fully plated knight. If you want a different helmet, the ones that belong with the armor, you can do it as well. I don't really like that one as well, I prefer this one, so, but just, you know, it's a good practice if you do it so. And that's it, all works fine. So, see you in the next video.